You're welcome back. Paying attention to your child's strengths and interests is key in identifying and developing their talents. Experts encourage the use of educational materials, playing with toys, and having them interact with other children. But when most parents discover an extraordinary talent in their child, they're usually left in the dark as to what to do to help them attain that full ownership of that talent. Ayola Iwayemi is here with me today to help us understand this very delicate situation. You know, he's a life empowerment coach, transformational speaker, whose mandate is investing in people positively by empowering them with the right attitude. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Can I call you Ayo?
Yes, fine.
Ayo. Okay, so Ayo is here, and they say you are a relationship parenting expert.
That's right.
And you're looking so fly and very cool and chilled. And
thank you.
I'm wondering, experts are usually like, you know, gray and, you know, looking very old and like they've heard so many sad stories. But you look like you really enjoy talking about this.
Yes. One thing I've discovered in life is that no matter what you do, you have to make it fun and very interesting.
All right.
So that there's no way you are saying you are this. You have to be different from others. So I try as much as possible to be able to understand why I'm in it and why I'm doing it for good.
Speaking of good, now all parents feel like their children are talented. Yes. All parents feel like their kids are the best. But what are those key indicators that parents should look out for to realize that their child has an actual gift?
Let me say that how to discover and develop. I want to replace that develop with nurture. Okay. Because it is as important to discover and also important to develop and nurture to maturity the potentials of your child. And let me say that, do you know that a boy of 6 years old has the potential to impregnate a lady when he becomes a man? Do you believe that? Oof. But the reproductive system is in him already. Okay. But if he is not developing, he might not be able to do that. But over time, when he moves from 1, 10, 20, 25, 30, got married, you will see him producing a child. Okay. So that means he's in him already. It's now left to him to develop on it. So parents should try as much as possible to be able to discover that thing in their child. And it starts from being an infant. I've discovered over the years through my readings and research that children, they have those things in them. Why do you think children smiles at you when you smile to them? Do you see the difference? But when you are harsh on them, they tend to react negatively too. So it's in them, and parents have to, three things, there are several things to do to discover it, but three things, they have to be able to observe the children. So be observant as a parent. Be observant as a parent. Know what they like, know what they are interested in. Some kids, you buy them toys, they have to destroy the toy. They want to see what is inside the toy. True. So there's no way you always beat the child. So always try to be observant.
So what you're saying is if a child has a brand new toy and decides to dismantle it, it's not because they are trying to destroy the toy.
Sometimes
they are being maybe
inquisitive,
very inquisitive.
Just trying to know what is inside the toy. So sometimes parents should not always try to react negatively. And I think I posted over the night that their inaction and action has to be deliberate.
I wanted to, go back on the age thing, because you mentioned from infancy.
Yes. From
infancy, you might, see some particular traits and talents. But then what is that key time? What is that key age that a parent should begin to nurture, as you said?
I think, for me, I believe there is not age barrier. You just have to be observant enough. And being able to understand that there's something unique about this kid. And being able to identify that thing and nurture it in him or her.
I've heard this statement so many times. You are too playful. You play too much. And I've heard, from many different experts that play is a key aspect of learning.
That's true.
So what would you say to parents that tell their kids that they play too much?
I would say that to play as a kid is not a bad thing. I was watching a movie, Gifted. There's a small girl, about 6 or 7, that was solving mathematics questions as if she was even sitting down with grown-up men and women in the class to receive lectures. So one thing is, allow them sometimes to play. There's always time for everything. So when you are intentional about that, there's always time for them to do their homework, let them read, let them relax, because you can't just be reading all through. For instance, for me, what works for me, I read and I watch movies. Okay. I don't watch football, but I watch movies to relax. So it's part of my play. I hardly go out, but I try as much as possible to relax, because there's no way you are trying to, if you are trying to download a particular material, you still need to go through the material. Yeah. If not, you only download, you have not. So you have to play, be serious at a time, and sometimes be unserious, if I can use the word.
Okay. So I'm thinking about that word unserious now, because I'm thinking kids shouldn't even have to be serious. Okay. That's just me. I feel like, you know, kids shouldn't have to worry about things, but I do tend to feel like parents put that pressure on a child. Maybe if they note that maybe they are turning towards one particular area and then turning away from one area. For instance, I wasn't very good at math in any way. Okay. And I remember how many nights I would spend with candle, you know, cramming math. But till date, it didn't really work for me. So I'm thinking about that pressure that parents are putting on their kids.
I said serious in the sense that like there's time for everything. So when there's time for them to read, let them read. Okay. For instance, like I used to tell my colleague that when my children are more growing up, I wouldn't want them to go for summer classes. Okay. They have to come and work. Let them understand, expose them to the work environment. Okay. Let him or her be your PA at that tender age. Give him a stipend, he saves. You are teaching him something, because as parents, we are the best mentor our children can have. So that's the first teacher as a parent. Before you go to crèche or school, you are the one teaching him or her one thing or the other, either directly or indirectly. You notice that there are several things we take after our parents without telling us to do it. It's by default, because leadership is influence. We see them doing it, and we are doing it, either good or bad. Okay. So we should try as much as possible as parents to make sure there is always time for everything at the right time, and doing it at the right time also. Okay,
so I want to just touch on technology. You know, the technology. You know, this is the age we're in. Right. Social media, tablets, laptops. And exposing our children to these new devices and systems. Now, a lot of parents are on the fence about it. They don't know which way to go. Some are afraid of it, probably because they don't understand it so well. But then some want to expose their kids to it, but they don't know how far to go. Okay,
let me say that either you give them, you expose them to it, or you buy them a phone. Okay. One way or the other, they are getting it. Okay. You'll be surprised to see a 5 or 6 year old kid trying to check some things online. Even sometimes your phone that you use, there's some features you can't use, and your kids can use it. So you just have to make sure you put them in check. Put some password, check them often. Okay. If possible, let them use your phone. Give it to them. Yeah. Use my phone, want to use my phone. Yeah. So they'll be able to know that mom is watching me, dad is watching this. Yeah. So you just have to give it to them and checkmate. So that if you don't give it to them, they will get it elsewhere. And that's the bad side. So they should try as much as possible. You can't take that out. A 10-year-old boy can relate with me on certain things because of technology. Before you know anything, he has Googled it. So they just have to be able to make sure that they checkmate it, and they are the one giving them the phone and helping them on it.
And not letting them discover from the wrong
wrong part.
Okay, so I have to say a big thank you to you for coming to the studio.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
This conversation is still going to keep going on our social media pages. Please tweet to us at TVC Connect, #WakeUpNigeria. What are you doing to harness your kids' potential? Take a picture with your child as maybe you're working on something together and tweet it to us so we can keep the conversation going. We have to go to Mike, who is standing by with that bombshell. Ogbolo, right after the break. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. We have a multi-talented comedian and entertainer, Michael Uba, a.k.a. Ogbolo, a.k.a. James, who stars in the highly successful comedy series, Jennifer's Diary. Great to have you, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow. A.k.a. Scratch your face in here.
Scratch it.
Calm down. How you doing, James?
I'm great. How you doing, man?
Almost, I said James, and it's hard. How are we going to do this now? Are we talking to James or Ogbolo?
No, I'm in Ogbolo mode right now. Now. No nails now, no nails. So
what's the difference?
Let me see your nails.
No, what's the difference between the James mode, the Ogbolo mode, and the Michael mode?
3 different personalities.
Yeah.
Almost sometimes I'm in all the mode.
How you do it?
But Michael is a bit calm. Michael is very deep. Loves to read. Loves to be a little bit on the deep side. You know, I like my space when I'm in that mode. That's when I get very intellectual. Okay. Then when I get into Ogbolo mode, I grew up in that Michael place.
Okay.
But Ogbolo, man, I had to develop an Ogbolo to pay the bills for Michael. Because if you leave Michael go broke. You know, so Ogbolo had to come in. You know, it was as a stand-up comedian
and
first.
All of that.
You know, way back then, I used to play an imbecile role.
Yeah,
you know, on stage.
True.
So you know that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. So it used to be like an imbecile thingy. You know, I get on stage and do stuff. Then I appeared on Flatmates, and then the name stuck. So whenever I get on stage, everybody will say Ogbolo, Ogbolo. I try to say no, I'm Michael. And say, go, shut up your mouth. You're Ogbolo. You know, so it's stuck. You know, then several years later, many years later, then came James on Jennifer's Diary.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now you have a very inspiring story. You've danced, you've done virtually everything in
my
entertainment.
brother.
You've trekked to places. You have a very, very inspiring story.
Yes.
Just in this very short words, how to upcoming entertainers, people out there who just see the lights and all of that, and they want to get there. I mean, how do they keep through all of this? You know, from starting and get to that point. How do they stay true to what they do?
Well, I get that a lot, and I tell so many of the young up and coming, whether you're a comedian. I danced nearly 5 years, you know, and from there I could see growth. Patience is key. First things first. You cannot just wake up and just blow. I want to blow. I want to blow spirit. I want to blow. You know,
that's cause issues.
Yes, you know. So I think a lot of people should pay their dues first. You know, humble yourself enough to probably get a mentor. You know, I think a lot of people need that. So many people don't have that right now, and a number of us had to go through that. Okay. So for example, I have danced. From dance, I went back to comedy. From comedy, I started doing stage plays. From stage plays, I went back to comedy. From comedy, I went to radio. From radio to TV. From TV, went back to acting.
Okay, what have you not done?
My brother.
What did you never do?
To sell story, you know. You know, but it's patience. You know, patience. Keep, you know, recreating yourself.
Okay, now let's talk about the character James. Now, you know why I rate you high. Why? This is very we're in a society that's quite homophobic to an extent. Now, playing a character that many people might not really relate with, but now enjoy.
Yes.
How do you do that?
You know, first things
enjoy that.
First things first. You know, I've been the person who likes to take up challenges. You know, so whenever I get into probably a stage play or start doing my stand-up jokes, you know, I get there. You know, the first thing is it's a daring role.
It is.
When I was approached to do that by Funke, for me it was a challenge. Then I got myself ready for what I might see. You get, so I got myself very ready for what I might meet, you know.
Okay, you know what happens? While we're talking about this, let's just say a short clip of the James we're talking about.
I did. How far now?
Habek, I need your Pelumi address. You get?
Hey, I get them.
Great. WhatsApp it. No worry. You know what? SMS told me go fast.
But wait. Me say if I want something in return.
What is something? Boy, that now?
I want Kiki love.
You want Kiki love? Now me go give you Kiki love.
Now your friend now, you go fit convince them. Say you want address, I be no want address.
Wait, so okay, I go give you Kiki love. I need your address. WhatsApp it. No, SMS it.
Okay, I go send my own address so that she go fit come see me.
Your address? Okay, no problem. SMS your address. SMS Pelumi address. Okay? I go give you Kiki love. No, I go post and save.
Okay, I go send them. No.
You're fine.
Kiki, finally.
Okay. But you need to do an impression now. Let's see. You take it. Just a very short.
Kiki, what's up? How you doing? I'll scratch on your face, you know. Hello.
Okay, you know what happens? How do you now? Do people meet you outside?
Yeah.
Guys, they meet you outside. They say, "Hey, guy, how far?"
No, but you see, amazingly, the reception has been wonderful.
Okay.
I was shocked. I've not really gotten the negative, you know, approach.
That's stigma that
people somehow people just decide to love the character, and I think probably because somewhere in the series, a girlfriend was introduced to the character.
Wow, yes, that's
so
quite something.
It reduced the whatever. That okay, this guy, okay, be like say maybe I'm okay. Maybe it's just that guy in the salon that's just taking up feminine mannerisms, you know. From so I think that helped a lot because we had to sit down and talk about. If we can see this thing, this work, we don't. Me not go to price my market.
I'm telling you. Okay, now let's talk about something else. How do you deal with the ladies? You have fans here. There are people drooling all around here and all of that. You know, how do you deal with the ladies?
I think probably because I'm from a very early stage, I've had a lot of attention.
Wow.
You know, from playing basketball to being
you
a
play
dancer.
basketball?
Yeah, of course.
As you told so.
I still try. that probably that's the reason why I don't like so much of football. You know, so and being a dancer.
Okay,
you
okay.
know, dance,
sure.
we dance for.
Sure.
We go way back. We danced together many years back.
Okay.
You know, so. From being a dancer, from every other stuff, you know, I've done before this, and I've always gotten attention. So I think it came quite early. I have a twin sister who has a lot of female friends,
so
you know, so I've gotten that a lot. So it had helped me to comport myself.
You know
properly.
how to deal with the ladies.
Yes, you know, so to a large extent, we are all friends, you know.
Wow.
Try to
how do you and being such a character, it's not easy to stay scandal free.
Yeah.
In this entertainment scene and all of that.
Yeah.
How have you been able to stay scandal free?
I've tried. You know, I've done my best to see to it that I just keep my head down. I just do my best possible to always make sure I don't get there because you know some people sometimes decide to just play ignorant.
Yeah.
You get, I am wiser than that, I believe. You know, even though I've not gotten there yet, you know.
Where is there?
There for me will be, you know, when everything comes together. You know, when everything comes to whom much is given, much is expected.
So this stage hasn't come together
yet?
No.
We just started the journey.
Wow.
We never really reached that place. No.
Wow. That's nice because, you know, like you just said, a number of people just think you just get some small fame and more, I don't arrive.
Of course, no. I know a number of my friends who probably, if they've gotten the fame I've gotten, they say it sometimes, if I be you and one, they go, no. You know, but I'm like, come on, this thing is a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey, you know, and success is not like a destination, it's a journey. You keep going through different levels of success. You know, this is just one of those levels. I haven't gotten where, because what's in my head, the big pass where I did now.
What next? Just give us a little bit of insight into what next. What's that thing in your head?
Well, fine, you know, a lot of people have been asking me as a stand-up comedian, you know, before now, guy, what's up now, what's happening, why are you not hosting your own shows? And I said, no, I'm chilling for that time to come.
Okay.
I know, and it will come eventually, by the grace of God, probably next year, you know, have my own show where everything will come together. My dance side, my acting side, my comedy side, everything will come together on one stage. I want to be able to see how I can begin to do bigger stuff on one stage where every fan from different areas of my life, you know, from my radio, from my TV, dance and all that, everything can come together. I
have to be part of that. Thank you very much. It was great having you.
Oh, shit.
Okay, but then he's going to be here because we still have Beyonce's in the kitchen.
Beyonce!
You have a message from Beyonce. If you do anyhow.
Beyonce, if you do anyhow. If you do anyhow. See, we don't chop that thing. See, at the end of the day, you have to chop and just behave.
Okay. All right. So, Beyonce and what do you guys have for us?
All right. Right now, I think we're getting ready to prepare the steak.
So, first of all, like the last thing we saw was the sauce cooking. Yeah, you smell it?
Yes, it smells nice, actually.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So,
and then it has that palm oil color.
Well, I guess it's a pepper soup and the curry coming together.
Oh, coming together.
Yes, the pepper soup spice and the curry coming together makes it look like there is palm oil.
Let's remind our viewers what we're making.
So basically, we're making my special concussion rice. Okay. And yes, what has gone into it is tomatoes, onions, habanero, curry thyme, pepper soup spice, grated ginger, and cooking, and my magic, a bit of my magic in it.
Yeah, we all have that magic.
Yes, salt also, please, salt. Don't forget to add salt. Salt is very key. So basically, right now, the rice is still cooking, and we're just going to put it to the other side while we make our steak right now.
Okay.
Yes. So, like I said, you need a very hot pan. Very, very hot pan. When I mean hot, I need sizzling hot pan.
Okay.
So we try to take out the water, excess water. You need it as dry as possible.
And then I also noticed that with the steak, you were dabbing it.
Yeah, you need your steak as dry as possible also.
Oh, okay.
So A little bit of olive oil goes into it.
Okay.
You're not frying it, you're searing it. So,
searing?
Yes. So just take it around.
Can you use the butter if you like?
Patience.
No, I'm just asking.
Calma.
I'm just asking.
Calma.
Okay.
So right now, what we're coming here right now.
Okay.
And what we want to do is season our steak. So this is a beautiful T-bone steak. What you need to do while seasoning, okay, so let me just shift it, yeah?
So much going on around here.
Yes, so much.
Okay.
Today, not today.
All right.
So what you need to do for your beautiful T-bone steak is nothing more than salt.
Just salt?
Yes. And when you're applying the salt, you take it far, so you don't end up over salting it. And that is all you need.
Or you could,
salt.
you could do a salt-based stunt.
You know, so you should make sure your hands are
dry.
Very dry, yeah.
Okay.
Because right now they're dropping in spots that I don't want them to drop to.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit of Italian seasoning, not necessarily, it's not important. Not important, like I said, but I like to play with Italian seasoning. I have an affinity with the Italian seasoning. Yes, black pepper, obviously. So make sure you crust it well with black pepper. Very important.
Okay.
Take it back, black pepper.
Or you could use your Cameroon pepper or your...
No Cameroon pepper for steak.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
this
wow.
This is steak.
But you can use grounded pepper.
No. Are you making suya?
I don't understand. Must I use black pepper? I don't get it.
This is not suya you're making.
I like Cameroon pepper.
This is
so
steak.
I can't use Cameroon pepper. I can't use grounded pepper.
No.
And so I have to go get black pepper.
Yes, you have to get black pepper. You've been on this conversation for so long.
Yes, because
and I see order black pepper from people's food store.
Yeah, whatever.
So it's not where I want it to be. It's not sizzling hot right now.
Okay.
It has to be sizzling hot.
Okay, so while we're waiting for that to heat up, you haven't answered my question about the butter.
Yeah. So the butter.
Yes.
Yes. We're adding the butter when we turn the steak.
Oh.
Something very important, an important tool when making a steak is your tongue. You need your tongue to flip. So while we're waiting for this to get hot,
okay,
I just need to peel this garlic because we're putting garlic in it.
What's the best way to shell off your garlic? Because I always have an issue with it, and I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you crush it down like this, just simple. You crush it, and it becomes very easy to peel off. See? Yeah,
but then what if you want to chop it? Because in that way it's smashed.
Well, you don't necessarily need to put so much pressure on it. Just a little, and you see this is not smashed. You can peel this off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try that.
Yes, we peel this off, and you just need about 3 cloves of garlic.
Okay. So I could peel this one off for you?
Yes, you can.
So is that hot already?
It's not where I want it to be, but we could just start already. You need it sizzling hot. You need smoke to come out of it, because you want a good sear on it. Once you place it, you want a very good sear on it. Because right now, if you place it, you might not get the sear you want. Okay. But we need to run along. Okay. So while you are placing your steak, very important. It's not, don't run now, don't run. You pick it up, yeah? Okay. What you do is place it like this. Uh-oh. You see, it's splashed that way. If you bring it like this, it's going to splash this way. It's very important. Yeah. Splash this way. So you hear the sizzle. You just put in your garlic.
Just like that, you're not chopping it, nothing?
No. The flavors will get into it, you know, that way.
All right, so while we are waiting for our steak to sear up, right?
Yes, sear up.
We'll go on a quick break and we'll return for more interesting stuff. Stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria, and there's so much in store on the show today.
So many thMM have happened already, and it's getting better and
it's getting
more
wackier,
exciting.
wackier. I can't wait to catch up with MM and Bukunmi Adeaga, who will be giving us the do's and don'ts of dressing for an interview. You have to dress to get the job, and your outfit is the first foot you put forward. Am I right?
Of course.
Dirile will be joining us on the couch for a chat as well.
And the lovely Ada Ehi will treat us to some beautiful music. You were talking about her dress earlier.
Yeah.
So our family members are here again.
Did you see during Ogbolo's interview? I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Are you serious?
I'm a fan. You know, I'm a fan. Yeah.
Starstruck? How now?
Yeah, but you know, it's quite difficult to draw a line between being effeminate and being homosexual.
Okay.
For a guy.
Yeah.
You know, with all that, you know, so
yeah.
people just generally would attach, you know, being homosexual to you being effeminate.
Yeah.
But there are some men, they're like that.
He does. He knows how to do it.
I think he's just a very good actor.
He is.
You know,
yeah, he is,
acting,
actually.
It's part of the job, being able to remove yourself and put another personality
and then go back into
forward.
that role.
Yeah, exactly. And
cool.
I think there was a great platform to Jennifer's Diary.
Of course.
amazing.
There was.
We
There
love
was.
you, Funke.
You know, also, yeah, we're talking about much like we're talking about the Champions League and all that and football. You know, the big one has to be PSG. We're talking about all the money involved.
Oh, yeah.
5-0. I mean, it's now showing that those guys want to go for Champions League and all the money.
MM,
Okay,
did you see what just happened?
You can talk about
Did
our
you
hairstyle
see what happened?
and what's trending?
I don't
You
understand
know?
what happened.
Please don't rub football.
Look, you guys
football,
need to
football.
chill. Look, this is
On Wake Up Nigeria.
once the season starts.
Please.
Wait.
So look, Michael, hang on a second. You're both married, right?
Yeah.
So we need to school you in some of these things.
Okay.
To understand.
Well, lucky for
some of the
me,
things that
my
men-
husband is not a fan.
Really?
He's not a
pretending.
sports
Mike is
fan.
not a fan.
He's
No, he's
pretending.
not.
He's pretending.
He's not.
How about
He's
Oscar?
probably
He's not. So that's not my
Amazingly,
problem.
he's not
I don't have a
either.
problem with that.
So I think we both chose well.
Yeah.
There's something they said about men that don't watch football. I don't just want to say it here.
What's that? What's that?
They want something
say
else.
go there.
I don't want to say it here. I don't want to say it here.
No comment.
You know, there's something that struck me well. Whenever I'm in the kitchen, I'm reminded of my childhood days because I hated going close to the gas cooker.
Okay.
My mom would always, there was a time she practically took a match and she was like, take it, lit it. You know, like that force, that pressure and all of that. So growing up, I practically would stay away from the kitchen area because I'm like, no, I can't do this.
It is quite
But
a
now you're
dangerous
forced to be in the
zone.
kitchen.
Yeah,
She's
you know,
forced
It's
to
a
be.
dangerous zone, though, and we have to be careful that we introduce our kids to the kitchen, you know,
yeah,
in a delicate
subtle way, yeah.
Subtle, but hey, we'll talk about that a bit more later on. You should tweet to us at TVC Connect and tell us how you were introduced to cooking with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. It's the top of the hour, people. Let's get you that news update you need.
Well, I'm Fedishola Shotingwa. On the news this hour, a detachment of the Nigerian Army invaded the premises of the National Union of Journalists, the NUJ, Abia State Chapter in Umuahia, destroying properties and other electronic gadgets. Journalists on duty were also beaten up. Some of the journalists say they are shocked that the military could take this action without proper investigation. The Army relaunched Operation Python Dance 2 in the southeast to deal with agitations, assassinations and kidnappings. The journalists want the military authorities to educate their personnel on their rules of engagement. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army has expressed regrets over the alleged attack on some journalists by some persons suspected to be military personnel in Umuahia on Tuesday morning. The spokesman for the 14th Brigade Nigerian Army, Ohafia Major Oyegoke Gbadamosi, said he was shocked to hear that military personnel invaded the secretariat of the NUJ and attacked journalists. Gbadamosi said he was shocked by the information and promised to look into the incident. And a 3-day curfew came into effect in Abia State some hours ago. The curfew started at 6 p.m. yesterday and will be in place until Thursday, beginning from 6 a.m. for the 3 days. The state governor, Okeze Ikpeazu, says the decision came after the skirmish, which broke out between some groups in the state, especially the indigenous people of Biafra with men of the Nigerian army. He also advised Abians to remain law-abiding and carry on their lawful business without fear. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Garba Bari, has stated that the NOA will establish effective platforms for countering the current spate of hate speech and fake news. He stated this while having a roundtable discussion with online newspapers and social media users in Abuja. He also noted that online journalists and bloggers play a vital role in the social space, and these platforms will be engaged to curb the use of hate speech. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP, has dispelled rumors of a rift between former President Goodluck Jonathan and the Bayelsa State Governor, Seriake Dixon. Acting National Chairman Ahmed McCarthy disclosed this when the Bayelsa State Executive of the PDP visited the National Caretaker Committee of the party in Abuja. McCarthy cautioned external forces who want to cause division in Bayelsa PDP to desist from such actions, as the National Secretariat will do all within its powers to prevent the emergence of factions. And that's the news this hour.